Okay, this is the current setup of things here so far with the 3D rig for the soon-to-be 3D model. Um, it's hard to tell which way it's going since the degrees is going forward. There's a bow, and then this one's like backwards matrix, side to side. You know, hello. Okay, we could do a high. Mm-mm. Where's my elbow? There it is. Hi. Hey. He's a bring it on. There you go. Phui. Oi. Um, you got the lower torso, which is kind of the same as the upper torso, unless we kind of mishmash them. And the the pelvis, I would think, would move for lower torso, even though it's kind of like a kind of just keeping still. Kick up the legs here, with the hip. And we have a knee thing going on. And then lastly, we have the ankles here, which I feel like a human ankle wouldn't really move too much. But with animation, sometimes you have to really stretch the way things are to get the point across. So that is what's going on so far. Um, I think the next step would be to put some more on the rig so like when it's turned you can still see things, or maybe adding simple animation. So for animation, my thought would be to use dot animate in where's left elbow? Left elbow. I was just there. Okay. I would use dot animate, and it would be like left elbow. If I wanted to do like a high animation, it would be left elbow, um, rotate Z degree here to here, and then the duration would kind of like, you know, do that. And then with do the same thing for the shoulder, you know, and then do the same thing for the wrist. And then like when when they do that, it'll do that animation, maybe even a slight, very slight. Because when I'm waving, my upper torso is kind of, and I even feel my pelvis moving a little bit. So something like that. Um, so yeah, actually, instead of working on more to the rig, I'd like to test out some very flat animations. So this is going to be joints. Um, J for joint. I would have A for animations here, and then maybe have some preset animations. P for poses. I don't know. But what needs to be seen are these values. So I need to be able to move the degrees on the slider, and then um, next to it, it needs to say how much degrees I am currently at. So animating could be like, I want this to here. Okay, but hard coded first and then make it that everybody can do animations eventually. Back to idle. All right, that's that.